Hello friends, and welcome back to Enderal. When we last left off, we had just met this guy, Jespar, and he was telling us how we can hopefully cure our Arcanist fever. We're supposed to go investigate this Yarrow fellow, so let's take it from there. Okay, so let's see what's going on with our map. Okay. So there was that resting place. Talk with Yarrow's childhood friend Alfred. Found the strongbox, which Yarrow threw into the sea near his house. A good amount of world here. Huh. They're probably comparable in size almost to Skyrim itself. It's pretty big. Well, let's go back and see if we can find anything at the where those apothecary were. Really enjoying this. It's actually a really fun mod. I believe this is down where it was. Yeah, because here's the... Well, damn, look at... Yep, there they are. Down there. Die, bandit! Okay, some coins. Iron gauntlets, nice. Lockpick. Better bow, I might actually use some bow here. And then just some old vagrant boots, those are better than what I have. I'll just leave that. There's light armor. So let's equip some of this here. Iron gauntlets. And the old vagrant boots. Looks like he's already stripped Finn and Carbos of their stuff. Let's see if they have anything else on them. Badge of the Apothecary. Sorry, guys. Life absorption. Is that the one I already have? Some mead. Some thistle and peaceweed. There's not really much left. Okay, let's see here. Okay, so that's that, and then Jespar was up over here. So let's go back up there. Well, let's explore a little bit. See what's going on in this old damn lookout. Oh, this is kind of creepy. There might be some rats or something else in here. Crap. Why'd it have to be the giant spiders? Oh gosh. Focus. Creature weapon damage for a short period of time. Favorite that. Favorite that. That reduces mana cost. Nice. Equip that. I'll get boon. And of course it increases my arcane fever. But honestly, I don't want to try and find someplace to sleep right now. I could probably actually heal though by sleeping or eating, honestly. Let's see which one's the food. There we go. Yeah, that might help. And put that as a left hand. Well, that would have been helpful. I don't know why I didn't try using that before. Ooh, a hat. Ooh, iron boots. Ambrosia! That'll come in handy. Especially with how high my Arcanist fever is getting. Well, that was unnecessarily creepy. Potion of protection from shock and some spare parts. That's and all. It looks like there's a door here or something. I don't know. Let's see here. The magic set the flames. Put those. Favorite those too. No more webs to burn. I don't know. Maybe that's not. Oh, there we go. There's a chain. Okay. Ooh. Search this stuff here. Some, what was that, 12 coins. Some chain boots. Those are better than what I currently have on, but not necessarily better than what I'm currently wearing. I should see something. Those iron boots, how much are they? They're 5 better. Those are only 3 better, so I won't worry about those. They're not really worth selling, so. Then a geographical overview. Some weeds. I'll read that book. Potion of protection from shock. Switch flower. And interact with magic symbol. That's 2 out of 100. That was probably not a good idea. It's pointless. And now I'm kind of stuck here. There we go. I think back here. Some spare parts. I don't even know what those are for, but they might be useful in crafting or something later on. Ooh, 23 pennies. Okay. Let's go on searching. So back there's the campsite again, and Jesper is still there.
Huh?
Okay, let's see here if there's anything else. You said your name is Jesper Mitimal Delveric. Isn't Dal a title of nobility here in Enderal?
Huh. Well observed. Yes, I am indeed sublime by my path, but please, just ignore that, will you? I'm not a big fan of titles. Most of the time, they're just a means for boring people to feel superior towards others.
You say your job is recovering lost things? Does that mean you're some kind of treasure hunter?
Treasure hunter? That has a nice ring to it. But, let's just say I help people to fulfill certain materialistic desires of theirs. Just like the Holy Warden who brings back the lost shoe to the maiden. Only the maiden pays me to do it. And I have a more flexible conscience, so to speak.
Okay. The mysterious sellsword. I like that.
You do? That's good. But let's save the socializing for later, okay? Usually I am always in for a good talk, but for now let's focus on the mission.
Okay. Butcher of Ark, Volume 1. Premise. They call me the Butcher. It hurts to write these words, though I am aware of their truth. What else should a man be called whose trail is marked by dozens of corpses? Corpses which are not mute witnesses of a battle or an accident? No, corpses which are solely the result of my own doing. Men, women, elders, children, priests, merchants, travelers, and whores. My murders seem to follow an instructable pattern whose arbitrariness will put an icy veil around everyone's heart. But of course, this will not be what heralds will proclaim. For them and the Holy Order, I will be no less than a monstrosity, a pathless demon who has been led astray by his own mundane cravings. They will call me an evil man, a beast, with a heart black as midnight, because these are the colors in which the world prefers to think, black and white. No one will ask about the how and why. Even these pages will be hard to acquire, for the Holy Order will surely do everything in its power to prohibit their printing, which is why I shall congratulate you, whoever you may be, for holding them in your very own hands. With this assembly of withered pages, you shall be given an insight into my very own thoughts. Do not understand them as a do not yeah, do not understand them as a justification for my deeds, because this is not what they are. I assume full responsibility for what I have done, and I desire no absolution, neither from Malthus, whose supposed divinity is as something I nowadays merely smile upon, nor from the people from justice or some other strange greater power whose true nature we have not yet learned to comprehend. This book is no more than a testimony of strange and instructable happenings yonder, yet which have made me into what I am. Chapter 1. Follow the Fire. It was a dull, cold, and wet morning that should change my life forever. Yes, somehow it almost seemed as if that day Mother Nature, as a response for the festivities of the preceding nights, had decided to recover herself with a dreamy, nondescript day. The reason for the aforementioned festivities had been the so-called Star Summer Night, which every year marks the beginning of a new spring, and in which the night sky is illuminated by dozens of wild, untamed starfires. While the common people, however, use the occasion to indulge in their mundane cravings, whether by drinking in smoky taverns, dancing around the first delve of spade, or having cultivated conversations on a masked ball. For us clerics, it means no less than a night filled with processions, sermons, and prayer. After shortly attending the joyous speech of the mayor and giving my priestly blessing to the commencement of the festivities, I silently retreated into the temple and prayed until both my knees and my tongue were sore, just like the holy verses oblige every priest to do. It was of no significance whether the cleric was the high priest in person, or, as it was the case with me, merely a simple, insignificant father in an even simpler and more insignificant village. Mine was called Fogville, and was situated on a constantly windy, sparsely vegetated cliff at the very west of Enderal. It owed its name to, who would have guessed that, the pale, thin waves of mist which every morning laid themselves over the village's countenance like a mourning veil over the face of an old widow. I still remember this last gaze yonder, which I threw upon the poor houses at the bottom of the hill the village's temple was enthroned upon. After the dissonant orchestration of lute music, animated laughter, and popping of corks, an almost eerie silence had laid itself upon the village. Only here and there a lonesome figure could be seen and heard, moving through the cold mist, and even the bakery's chimney remained still. I feebly smiled into the face of the village as I had grown up in. My father, who actually wasn't my father, claimed to have found me wrapped in linen and laying in a basket near the way shrine on the mist road. I had been abandoned, and the man who later became my father took me to the village, full of devotion and grateful for the divine gift. However, before his untimely death, only 10 years later, I never got rid of the feeling that his compassionate act was due to the fact that he found me right underneath a statue of Malphus, and not because of his wish for a child. Gillman the Tanner, as the villagers called him, was a delicate man with pockmarked skin and a slim nose. In his own opinion, the whole world conspired against him, which was the sole reason for his misery. We never talked much, but when we did, our conversations followed a general pattern. With his sighing voice, he called me to his fireplace room, where he rigidly sat most of the time, along with 2 empty tankards of beer. Then he indicated me to sit down and announced that he had to get something off his chest. The fact that only his foundling son was there to listen was another proof for how badly life had treated him. It started right when I sat down. Hjalmar the Hunter had sold him rancid oils. An evil cutthroat, my father called him. But after all, it was in the nature of Eterna, he said, and in Enderal, this fact was not as well known as in Narum. This just keeps going on and on, doesn't it? Or Maitresa's Enjoy, who had served him bitter wine. A mean crone she was, he said. Oh, yes. But thanks to Malphus, he had perceived her plan and cut her down to size. And then, of course, Rashik, the Smith's twin boys. Rascals they were, both of them. No respect they had for path-abiding, hard-working people like him. But no manners were to be expected from a coal man and his breed. What do they know about decency? He said excitedly. These folks do nothing but shag until the bed breaks down. It did not matter to him that Rashik was a Quern living in 3rd generation in Enderal, and that he preferred a long-term union with his mate over the promiscuous family clans of his homeland. These conversations, his persistently sour breath, and the smell of raw hides, leather, and animal fats in the workshop made up a great deal of my childhood. Friends I had only a few to none, mostly due to the fact that my father made me work hard in the tannery as soon as I reached the age of 5. In Materpania, I am sure of this now, had not by incident noticed my quick wit. I would still be there today, working between animal parts, stretched hides, and slippery grease. Maybe the strange experience at that misty morning would have never happened, yet she noticed, and that is how it came that on the day of my path consecration, the aged priest proclaims my holy path in a solemn voice. I, Tanner's son, was predestined to entirely dedicated my life to Malphus's glory as a priest. Of course, back then, I did not fully comprehend what that meant. But the other children's awestruck reactions made me realize it was a good thing. Thus, I left the bleak tannery and only entered the old house at the end of the village to sleep there. For my foster father, the child's abduction was only one more act of treason. Looking back, I thought that the amiable matter of the only real caregiver in my life. She taught me to read and write, and she taught me the essentials of herbal lore. With empathy and toughness, she taught me what I needed to know to become part of the Enderalian clergy. 10 winters later, I received priesthood and began to serve in the small temple. I did what an obedient priest had to do. I held services, I prayed, I maintained the temple, and I heard the villagers' confessions. Meterpela left the village on her 16th name's day and moved to a 60th name's day and moved to a retirement quarter in the Sun Temple of the capital, which I only knew from tales. A year later, my father passed away, an event that, to my surprise, affected me deeply. Then everything became lethargic, routine, until that very day. The man that I was then was to be a happy man. I am not able to tell. When I try to recall the first 28 years of my life, my memories seem to be like fading words on an old parchment. My reason tells me that I was blessed. In a way, the life of a priest was pleasant and constant, without highs and lows. I had enough to eat, I had a home, and enough pennies to afford the services of a wandering whore from time to time. I knew that according to the holy verses, at the end of my days, I would enter the eternal paths, my path trodden, my task fulfilled. But things turned out differently. Okay, I want to see something. How much longer does this go on? Holy cow. I think we're going to end it there and pick this back up tomorrow. Or not tomorrow, because tomorrow's actually, what is it, tomorrow's Friday, isn't it? Yeah, so, we're gonna end it there. I write out, but things turned out differently. And we'll pick that up tomorrow. We'll take that book. Or not tomorrow, again, Monday. So, see y'all Monday, and hopefully we'll finish that.